first approach to piano?
You know, my first approach was so early on that I can't remember what it was. A piano has always been a very big part in my life. And my mother asked me at one time when I was a very young child, would you like to take lessons? And I said, well, no, I don't want to because I can play without them. She said, okay. So, the piano and I were good friends early on. And I've always had a piano in my life. So, there's no time I can remember when a piano wasn't important to me.
Yeah. How about your children? They play music too?
My children are all very musical. They inherited the same quality that I inherited from my father. And so they all are musical, which makes me very happy. We have a good time when we get together.
Yeah. Where did you born, Katie?
Where was I born? In Salt Lake City, Utah. I was a good little Mormon girl, and I thought everybody was Mormon until my family moved to California. And I was very surprised to find that there were a lot of non-Mormons. So I asked my mother about it, and she said, well, just don't worry about it. So that's the attitude I took. Great emphasis on music. It was a very important part of the teaching for children. I am sorry that that doesn't happen now. People only get music education if they look for it. But at that time, and that was so many years ago, it was just part of the curriculum.
Yeah.
So, does that answer your question?
Yeah. How old are you now, Katie?
How old am I now?
Yes.
I think I'm 94.
Yeah. You have an amazing memory because you have hundreds and hundreds in your brain, music, piano music, no?
Well, I guess I do have a good memory. And where music is concerned, I have a very good memory. If I want to know a number and I want to remember it, I put it to a melody, and then I can remember.
Ah, great.
It was just a knack that I can't explain even now, because I can't read music, and because music was so much a part of my life, but I don't know why. It was just an inherited factor.
Yeah. And do you remember your married? When were you first married?
My first marriage, well, yes, a very long time ago, to a doctor who was training at Stanford Hospital. And at that time, Stanford Hospital was in San Francisco. It's since relocated down on the campus. But I enjoyed those years in San Francisco when he was in medical school. So yes, he died when he was too young to die. Too young to realize how talented his grandchildren were. And I am sad about that. I swore after the first marriage that I would never remarry. But it happened. A very nice man who had been our attorney for years and was, coincidentally enough, was a judge. And he had lost his wife, and so we were both without mates, and so we got together. And it's been a happy marriage.
Yeah.
Oh, about 2 years I've been here. I think it's been about that, yes.
Oh, very nice.
And I like it here very much. I didn't come here reluctantly. I came here eagerly. This place?
Yeah, about your life, maybe.
Oh, my sister was also talented in the musical way, but she was more of a student than I. And so she would take lessons from a teacher who came to the home. And I would hide under the piano and just listen to the whole thing. So after the teacher was gone, I climbed up on the bench and played the very songs that she had taught my sister, which just drove my sister crazy. I was a tease. And I could remember my sister yelling to my mother, "Get this kid out of here."
How many kids do you have?
I have 4, 2 girls and 2 boys.
They are musical too?
They are musical. I'm so very grateful for that. It's the quality that I inherited from my father, and it was carried on into that generation, and they're all musical.
Do you remember about your grandfather, your grandma, about they play the music too? Or?
My grandparents,
Yes.
you know, I really don't. I have no memory of them.
Yeah. And
I don't know why that, well, I was over 60 years ago. And so my memory doesn't extend that far.
Can you speak about every one of your kids?
Every one of my kids, okay. The oldest, Rick, a very gentle, wonderful man. He lives up in the northern part of the state. Desert, what is it called? At any rate, he has a lovely place to live, and he and his wife are very happy up there. Oh, why can't I come up with that name? Anyway, it's way north above San Francisco, and they love their life there. He's a retired teacher. In fact, of my 4 children, they're all senior citizens, which really amazes me. I think, what happened to all those years? But it's rare that we all get together at the same time, because there's such great distances between us, among us. But we have a very musical family.
How about your second kid?
My second marriage?
Yeah, your second children.
Oh,
Child.
my second child. Okay, I've told you about Rick, the first. Lark is my second, and she was a little preemie. And we were very concerned about whether or not she would make it, but she had a lot of vitality. And she did indeed make it, and is a very bright young lady. And she is also retired. She does a lot of volunteer work, and usually connected with children. She loves to go in the ocean with her husband, who has a boat. As a matter of fact, his boat cost more than our first house. I can't imagine that, but that's the way things were. So they go wonderful places in that boat, and she lives a very interesting life.
Yeah. How about your third kid? Your third daughter?
My third, let's see, Rick, Lark, Kit. The third one is Kit, my daughter, with whom I have the closest contact because she is my caregiver. She oversees all my needs. She's very loving and bright, and I'm so grateful to have her in my life. So I talked with her almost daily. But it's a role reversal. It's a very successful one.
Yeah. And the last one?
That's David. David is my very tall, he's 6'5" about, and also very musical, wonderful sense of humor. He was kind of the toy. All the other 3 were just very eager about his birth because they felt it was their baby too. And that's the way he was treated for years. He was a very well-adjusted, happy little boy. And he too has musical talent. One cute story I can tell about him is one day he was out in the front yard playing with a hose and accidentally squirted the hose on a lady who had been our housekeeper, and it made her furious. And so I was trying to get him to say he was sorry. So I said, David, what did you say to Catherine after you squirted her? And I said, and he looked at me kind of strangely, as though that was a silly question. And he said, well, I just said, oops. And that's a good way of expressing the way he felt. Instead of I'm sorry, it's oops, what did I do? He was a joy to all of us.